Hey guys. Welcome. Walking in LA, walking in Koreatown. Perhaps getting a snack. Perhaps you'll hear me. Perhaps I'll see the chat. But either way, we'll have fun. How are you guys doing? Happy Friday. I was going to go a little later today, but I went late yesterday and I wanted to maybe catch a few East Coasters. It's really humid and yucky out today. Let's kind of take this side street down and we'll dip over to Western. Hey, Carriopolis, happy Friday. It's the weekend. I feel like after it rains, the sky looks pretty magical. It kind of barely rained, at least when I was awake. Here we go. Weather. I thought I turned weather back on. Hey, Rob Thomas. Welcome from the West Coast. 83 degrees. It actually doesn't feel like 83 degrees. It feels a little cooler, but does feel kind of juicy out in the humidity way. So this is a little side street off of Western. I thought it was going to be shadier, but there's not a lot of trees over here. Beautiful 1920s Spanish apartment buildings. Kind of on the cusp of gentrification. To our left, art galleries and fancy boutiques and stuff. And a Winchell's. That'll be gone. It'll be a Air One Express soon. Hey, Brave Bull! Hey, Ms. Evil Glenn. Whoa, Chihuahua. I kind of love these buildings. I mean, I don't know what the apartment is like. If it was like pure kind of vintage inside and they didn't try to 90s it up, right? A $30 Erewhon donut. It's actually an Invisa donut. It's a microchip or a USB you plug into your phone. You get a picture of a donut being eaten. No calories. Kind of like walking in LA, right? Except we don't go to Erewhon. I kind of love this house. It just reminds me of a camp. Cute little, might be zoomed in a little bit. Thanks for asking. I am. Hey, Jesus. Just reminds me of like a camp. You know what? When I started the phone, or started the app, it was super zoomed in, so I kind of zoomed it out only one time. I'm sure you can get an Erewhon with Klarna. I'm sure you can. You can get a Subway sandwich with Klarna. Not that I've ever done it. The footlong though, $18.99 or whatever it costs now. I don't know, 3 easy payments of $6. I can't even do the math. Whoa, that kind of scared me for a second. I thought it was a Jawa. Burglar fences. We've got bars. And then We're in like Little Armenia, Lower Hollywood. We've got bars and lions to deter people from robbing us. I do not want to bear the wrath of this lion. Look, the lion has like teeth. That's details you don't see anywhere except in Little Armenia. I'm kidding, you see them all over. But anyway, no one wants to climb this fence. Look at that spikes, right? I'm not gonna touch the lion though. I said to myself, WWJD, and the answer was not fist bump the lion. Oh, J in that case is Joseph. What would Joseph do? If Joseph would not bump the lion, I would not bump the lion. If Joseph would tell me not to bump the lion, I'm not going to bump the lion. Joseph definitely keeps me in check from my like 7-year-old mind and curiosity about things. So this street is kind of weird. It ends at a Y. And and it like dumps out to Western at a really impossible spot. I've accidentally taken this street a couple times. I don't even know what it's called. Monroe. Oh my gosh, I used to live on Monroe Street way further down. We're gonna take a left up here. I'm kind of like, sorry, the gimbal's gonna jiggle a little bit. I'm just trying to make sure it's 100% straight. We're using the Hohem Junior, and there's my finger. Yeah, there we go. I'm using the Hohem Junior, which is actually the Hohem X3, and I love the Morning Glories. I also kind of love these guys too. I was obsessed with Morning Glories when I was a kid. I feel like people were pushing them on you in the 70s and 80s. Like the fact that a flower would open and close. Let's go back and look at the Morning Glories. They take me back. We never had Morning Glories, even though I had seed packets. Let's just enjoy those for a second. So they close up. In the afternoon, and peer up to a piercing blue sky. We do have some really great flora here in Los Angeles. Speaking about great, let me take a moment to thank all of my members with this new pumpkin spice flavored Chiron across the bottom. Just in time for Halloween. So we're approaching Melrose. For the longest time living here, maybe the first 10 years, I would confuse Melrose and Beverly, which order or which one was going to come next, or which one went where. So I've heard lots of great stuff about MRV, this Mexican cuisine, the Veracruz. This is a cute little restaurant stretch. So we're just maybe a mile down the street from Paramount. This is just really the beginnings of Koreatown. We're just dipped in a little from cheapest gas in town I've seen, $4.89. So cute little like shopping district. It just got some new affordable, in air quotes, apartment buildings. This used to be a Oaxacan market though. Before I lived in Los Angeles, don't think I ever saw the word Oaxacan. I had no idea how to pronounce it. And still to this day, if I am looking at the word, I have a hard time pronouncing it. Like the first time I saw it, I think I said Oaxacan or something. I couldn't figure out how to pronounce it. I think I was schooled at that store. There's a really cute little bakery back there. I wanted to kind of peek in the window, but I'm never one to. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to straighten my gimbal. Let's go look in this pastry window. This is the Edgemont happy hour. Cocktails for $9. That's pretty de rigueur. That's the way to see it. I just had never seen that word. Anyway, this is the sweet corner. Their window is pretty awesome. Cute little place to sit. I'm really into signs. That sign isn't doing it for me. But it's got a griffin above it. We're making our way towards Western. But I think we're gonna dip down Gramercy. I know nothing about this hotel, I'm ashamed to say. I've been kind of spying on it for years too. Hey Ruben! I really hope that the images that I see on my camera look as good on your TVs or whatnot as they do on my phones. I feel like that's a little Spanish colonial Miami Vice style. I pointed this building out before. I'm all at once in love with it and kind of repulsed by those little things. Thank you so much, Ruben. Adore you all as well. Really, really do. All right, let's go down Gramercy. I feel like a long time ago, somebody had asked me to go walk past their grandmother's house who lived on Gramercy, and we were a little too far away from it. The stream is live-ish. Thank you, Jesus. That's awesome. This morning and yesterday, I've just been dicking around with a new, I don't even know what you call it, streaming app. So I've been looking at Moblin. There's another streamer who I follow, and they follow me too. They're really great. They've been streaming Roy Explorers. They've been streaming, what is kind of sweet looking little house. They were exploring San Francisco early in the morning. I always want to do an early morning stream, although San Francisco is non-stop, kind of beautiful area after beautiful area. So maybe I'll go up there and I'm kidding. But I was watching his stream, and he was streaming with his Osmo Pocket 3, which I'm all about the picture quality. It looks really great. So I was trying to figure that out for the past 2 days. I don't know if I'm ready to go there, because 2 of the most important things are the chat and the overlays. So I can do things like thank you, and if it's your first time being here, please like, subscribe, and chat. But Moblin is, just trying to get that straight. Moblin is, I did straighten this out before I went on, but I keep fiddling with it. Good enough, alright. Moblin's less heavy on the CPU, so that's why I'm interested in it. It's probably less heavy on the CPU because it doesn't have all the great little overlays. Anchor Steam beer. I'm not much of a drinker, beer, or anything, but there's something about a beer sometimes on a hot day. So we're crossing Clinton. Again, Western is just over here. And Gramercy. That sounds like a good beer to me. I used to like Newcastle. And Newcastle also had an amber beer that was really good. Well, see, the only thing with that Brave Bull is I'm really not a drinker. So it would take me like 3 or 4 days to recover from a beer steam. Also, I don't think I can promote the use of alcohol on YouTube. So, about me, I really only like the first 4 sips of the beer before the carbonation dissipates. Like, I cannot sit with a beer for a couple of hours. Once it's no longer ice cold, and yeah, I know, people drink warm beer. I remember before I was old enough to drink, I was at this bar called Thelonious Monk, and I ordered my first Guinness. Mind you, I probably only had like 4 or 5 or 6 beers up until that point in my life, and they were all probably like Heineken or Amstel Light. I can't really explain the Guinness. I've had a sip since. I really hate it though. It is like a potion, a witch's potion of, wow, the Disneyland Express. We just got lucky. It really tastes like some kind of crazy potion. Look at that cute little Desperate Housewives looking house over there. Alright, we're almost back to Western. Once we pass Beverly, I think I might just also, once we pass Beverly, I might go back in. straight from Western. Hey, thanks, Nightbot. I feel like I have tried near beer in my life. I feel like if I'm gonna drink beer, though, I would not want it to be near. It kind of defeats the purpose and fun of a beer, I guess. I am on the sunny side of the street. There's some really expensive shops over here, like Foam. It's a women's fitness, but Clearing. So again, there's like gentrification on one side and this furniture barrel. Right? That's what I feel like. But also like, so if I went somewhere and you bought like, I don't know what the near beer is, O'Doul's. Do they still make that? Am I like talking about sarsaparilla soda and knee-high? Anyway, O'Doul's, that's probably the one I had. That was like the first one. I love, oh my gosh. If you went to a bar and you had an O'Doul's, first of all, I feel like not drinking is kind of, people look at you like, hard times, you know? Or maybe that's just my age. But Joe and I don't drink. We go to bars all the time and drink waters. I had a colleague that I worked with who also didn't drink a couple years ago, and they would get soda water with a splash of ginger ale and lime to look like a tequila shot. Anyway, if I was going to pay $16 for a beer or whatever O'Doul's would cost somewhere, I'm really only going to drink half of it, so I'll just skip it and get a Arrowhead water. Right? It kind of looks like, I'm going to give it one more jiggle. It kind of looks like a Heineken, really, an O'Doul's. Every time I see those little, like, that fork on the dump truck, I always imagine it impaling a car, or like picking up a car. I just really want to cross the street. He's taking an unprotected left. I feel like that always takes a little while. So I'm going to cross behind him, hope he doesn't dump any trash on me, and we're good. We've got a little helicopter action up there. Hey Jay Walker, how are you? Happy Friday. I would never pay $15 for a beer either. I really don't know what a beer costs at a place that sells beers by the bottle. I feel like for $15, I could have drank a six-pack in my car. And that's literally a joke, because if I drank a six-pack, I would probably not live to see another day. guy looks kind of sharp in certain places. I remember when you could get like a Busch beer draft for like $1 or a pitcher for like $5. Those were the days. Those really were the days. Oh my gosh, Jay, we haven't gone to the $9.99 pizza place in a while. Also, I'm walking by myself. I could, if I was going to eat a $9.99 pizza by myself, I would just hang up afterwards. I'm probably just going to get a little snack somewhere along the way. No great lunch. Though we have George Berger. He gave us a little donation yesterday for a snack today, so we'll get something. Like happy hour pictures. I mostly like the happy hour for the appetizers. You know, the free nacho trough. Or bottomless mozzarella fingers. Or chicken tenders. I'm not really interested in the wings, as we've discussed in the past. Or a slider trough. When bar food is free, no matter how crappy it is delicious. Happy hour food. Oh my god, I love jalapeno poppers. I also love finding the tiniest sliver of shade to stand in, which I'm about to do right now. I know you wanted to cross the street, but so did I. I'm talking to the car that can't hear me. I love to do that. Whew. We are at Beverly. I think it would be dangerous for me, joking. I don't want to go up over there because I want to stay on the shady side of the street. So maybe we'll take a left down here. I love free cocktail nuts. Or pretzels. And you know, they put the pretzels out to make you really Brazil nuts specifically. I actually have no diagnosed allergy. I have some self-diagnoses. But I think they might just be California specific. If I have iced coffee with milk in it, it makes me Chuck. It makes me Ralph's. Just my stomach does something. Certain iced coffee. There's a specific place, but I feel like the acid and the milk together or something. I know I eat a lot of ice cream. Sometimes ice cream gives me a dairy tummy. Whatever that means. So I wouldn't say that I'm allergic to it. Oh, the Paramount swap meet. I think it would be hard for a doctor to know all about anybody, because despite the fact that we are truly all pretty similar, and to that of a mushroom, I feel like everybody is just a little like different, you know. And I know, not using the term snowflake, but no two snowflakes alike. Even I bet among identical twins, there are some differences. Well, I know that there are, but when I was growing up, someone broke in and stole and robbed us. I'm sure it was a neighborhood kid. We never figured out who it was, but they stole our VCR and a jar of pennies. The joke was on them because it was the mid-'80s and the VCR was Betamax. I kind of wish I still had that Betamax VCR. It had knobs that you changed instead of buttons, and then also the cassette popped out of the top. Not to mention wood grain. I love a little wood grain on a electronic. Always makes it seem a little classier, organic. A wood grain sticker. Dunkin' Donuts is one of the ones that kind of gives me this weird acid tummy. I feel like, so one of the places, I can't even remember, actually I do know the name of it, I'm not gonna blast them, but one of the places is like an expensive hipster in Silver Lake. You will never guess it, we never walk by it, and it was on my way to work for a while and had always street parking, so I would go there and I would get an iced coffee, delicious iced coffee, really, but by the time I got to work, which at the time I worked in Arcadia, like I literally, my stomach was like queasing, and sometimes I would get rid of it back in the cup. Anyway, that's pretty gross. Hey Michael, welcome from Australia. So we ended up getting a VHS one, which was still kind of a bummer because we had so many movies on Betamax, because we had a Betamax for a while. I feel like, and I could be misremembering it, that the Betamax VCR also had a remote control that was on a cord. Dudley, happy Friday. We only didn't live stream one day this week, which was Tuesday. And I keep mixing up the days. So tomorrow we'll live stream. I already put the page up. It's around 12 o'clock. We're going to go to Union Station, historic Union Station, for the free train show. And then we're going to go to Alvera Street, on the birthplace of Los Angeles, and then walk back through downtown to catch the train. Probably be a good 2 or 3 hour stream, but trains first. Mary, happy Friday. Be kind, rewind. I feel like there was something before Blockbuster Video. Oh, maybe it was a regional. We used to have a video, so the first video store we had when we first got the Betamax was called the Beta Barn, and it was all the way on the other side of town. then we had some place, by the time we wised up to the VHS, there was a place called Mike's Videos, and it was owned by like my former neighbor. But it was huge. It was in an old mill, and they had everything that ever been on VHS. Oh, me too. I love Union Station, and Alvera Street. I really want to get some taquitos, so we're gonna try to convince Joe to get taquitos. So right before Blockbuster totally took over, we never had Hollywood Video in New Hampshire. We had this store called Endless Video, and it was just like a Blockbuster light, you know, Blockbuster ripoff. But their fees were so insanely crazy. That is awesome. I heard this morning that they were opening some new A-line stations, Laverne, and I forget what. I think I might try to go out to some of those again when it gets cooler. Like Laverne is pretty beautiful. I just don't want to go when it's 20 degrees hotter over there. We went to all those places, but Hollywood Video I never ran into until we moved to Boston, and that actually was like the Hard Rock Cafe of video stores. I mean, it didn't have a cafe or have anything to do with hard rock, but like it was just cool and like, I don't know. I was excited to go to Hollywood Video finally. And they didn't, and then there was 2020 Video, which I think I had a membership there. There was one on Sunset and La Brea, or Sunset and La Brea. I'll have to check it out. I thought I heard, sorry, I'm gonna like, we're tilting down, tilting up. There we go. This gimbal is smaller, more compact, and a little bit lighter. I'd be crapping my pants if the cop just honked at me. And a little bit lighter, which is lovely. It feels a little more discreet. But I think my RX and phone are just pushing the boundaries of 300 grams. I think that's what I've come to the conclusion of. It is it's a Hohem X7. It was $51.99. My Hohem M7, I'm sorry, X3, sorry. My M7 is going back to Hohem for repairs. And this is kind of like a nice one to use when I don't have that one. It's just, my phone is a little heavy. I even had to take the case off. Which I love an iPhone with no case. It is beautiful with no case. You know, it would be weird if they didn't put it close to the Fairplex. And if they didn't put it close to the Fairplex, I hope they've thought of like creating some kind of shuttle on days when there are events. I think I've been to Pomona for something other than the Fairplex. I know, the gimbal is way less noticeable. I'm really looking forward to being able to use the DJI and the phone at some point, because that is really discreet. We wouldn't have the chat, but Joe would come with me and work the chat on his phone maybe. But we would have almost 4K resolution. So I added a couple Nightbot things. One of them is for us. I thought it would be a fun way for Joe to control me on the walk a little bit. One of them is LA Facts, I think. I created a couple yesterday. I should have done one for Koreatown this morning. So it's exclamation point LA Facts. And each time there's like 5 facts loaded up because that's all it will take. Kind of like exclamation point parrots. I need some new parrot facts. Yeah, you know, a couple months ago on the stream, or maybe a month ago, after Stephen Colbert was removed, I don't really watch Jimmy Kimmel that often, or Stephen Colbert, or any late night show, but I do catch some of their stuff on streams. After Colbert left, I started to think it would be horrible if Kimmel left, because of what he provides and does just to that area of Hollywood. So that's like kind of my downtown. And that is a major business of my downtown that provides work to a lot of other people. So his business being there does a lot for my community. And so I respect him for that.
Coffee shop so that it's not so tempting to fucking walk up. Let's go up here. Some coffee shop. Yeah, but let's not go to a fucking grocery store, please. I don't want to have to. You know what? Please.
Me too. I watch bits of them on YouTube, or a celebrity interview on YouTube, something like that. I certainly don't watch anything on program television anymore. Like nothing 8 o'clock on Friday night like that. I think the only show I watch like that, probably most consistently, is The Daily Show. Oh my gosh. Wait, The Daily Show is still on. I watched it this morning. It was a brand new Daily Show. It was kind of a little bit of a joke, but it was like the new regime Daily Show. Sorry, I was an opportunity to look at some cool street art. No, I know. But, well, everything else to... So, obviously, you know, liberal point of view, Jon Stewart, for sure. Similar, very similar to probably my point of view on a lot of stuff. And I think I would be horrified if that show were to go next, because I think that's a news-ish show, and it delivers the news as a joke, which is kind of protected. But whatever. All right, we can't really always talk about politics. Simply Sonora, welcome. Happy Friday. We are hustling in the humidity and heat would be a lovely time to go to Boom San because there's no one in there. I don't know that I've fully earned an ice cream yet. I've only walked from my home. Yesterday was a Floridian in nature. I'm a huge fan of turning the air conditioner on the car and rolling your windows down. It's really not a good idea because it pushes the condenser really hard. So, like, I couldn't even roll down the windows. It was just juicy out. So we're gonna walk towards down this way a little bit and then come back up to Wilshire. Tomorrow will be on at like 12-ish or 11:30, whatever that time says. I'll be live streaming on time or maybe a couple minutes early. But I think one day next week I'm gonna try to go out a little early in the morning. I kind of think the city is pretty magical early in the morning, and we've gotten a lot of night runs. Hopefully not. The crazy thing is, I really don't want to talk about this because I am a super political person. Is we're losing free speech in the name of free speech. Or over free speech. Me too. Alright, I'm crossing the street and getting in the shade. These are just super lovely, lovely, lovely buildings down here. We're a block above Wilshire. You can see the theater right over there. Big green Art Deco thumb sticking up. Not a thumb. Slender pointer finger. Oh, 10 degrees cooler over here in the shade of this building. On the 405 at rush hour. I would take the train at midnight, I think. Here's why. It's not going to be too crowded. It's not going to be very crowded at midnight. So you just pick your car wisely. Alright, we'll go down to Wilshire. We're at Verano, which we have walked up before. It's got some beautiful old 1920s apartment building. Those people think I'm trying to film them saying goodbye. A fond farewell. Okay. I don't know much about the Baldwin Park station. I hate sitting in traffic though. Like, I avoid the 405 if I can help it. I avoid the freeway if I can help it. I've learned that you can take Colorado Boulevard all the way to Pasadena and all the way beyond. I also have taken Western to Long Beach before. Western or Vermont, I can't remember right now. I only did it once. It took forever. But it was 10 minutes shorter than taking the freeway at this particular time. I would either get off at like, I live like between 3 stations, so, and they're all like equidistant from to my place, sort of. Neither one of them is nicer than the other one. Actually, one of them is my thing about being stuck on the freeway is, and not moving, I always have enough gas. First of all, if I'm getting on the 405, I just filled it up. But like, what if there's an earthquake and I'm under the overpass? Sorry. These are the things I think about. I'm not well, I tells ya. I'm kidding, I'm well. But so we are totally in Koreatown. I've mentioned this before, but that is the only public green space in Koreatown. Liberty Park, I think is what it's called. I used to have to drive to Orange County for work sometimes, and even though where I was going was like 45 miles away, like a 90-minute trip. I think I sometimes used to leave at 7:30 to get somewhere by 9:30. Also, I like to get places early. That's on me. But it's the worst. Not feeling like you can go, get off the freeway, go anywhere, you're kind of just like stuck. That's why I tend to take surface streets mostly, because I always feel like there's a right turn you can make somewhere. I don't think I think the 405 is more like purgatory or hell, maybe, because there's no playing going on there. And maybe that's the joke. The devil's playground. There's no play at all. I used to have a friend that lived just beyond the 405 in Brentwood. An older lady, lovely lady, and it's like, not taking the freeway, I would totally take Sunset all the way there, and it was pretty swinging until you get to that little 405. Right? 4 or 5 miles before you run out of gas. Good thing we don't have like winter storms where people like get snowed out or stuck on the freeway or highway in a blizzard. We'd all run out of gas. Except for me, because I just filled up my car. It's true. The 101 is also slow. The 110 and the 134, I think those get a little backed up during the commuting hours. When I worked in Arcadia, The lovely thing here is that I was reverse commute, so it didn't really take me that long to get to Arcadia from East Hollywood, 30 minutes. That's a sweet commute for Los Angeles. So simply, Sonora, imagine if we had snowstorms here and people got stuck on the freeways when they're super congested like that. I remember, 495 in Massachusetts. The closer you get to Boston, you could really be sitting in traffic. There are a lot of terrible traffic jams in New England also. It is definitely not a California solo thing. My favorite thing is Thanksgiving Eve. All California news programs, like, will show you a picture of the 405, and it is just full of brake lights. The CBB Bank. Me either. It's crazy, that building just kind of disappears. Oh my God, that had to be crazy. I used to drive from here to Torrance, which was pretty horrible also. And it was mostly horrible because there's the part where you're on the 101 and then it has to turn to the Harbor Freeway, that interchange downtown, and it's just...
Hey, okay, so I talked to my therapist, right?
You've got to change all these lanes. I'm not the most agile driver. What are the facts? I didn't hit the button. It just scares me. Also, when you're coming from like the Inland Empire and trying to connect to the 101, there's like 2 freeways connecting to the 101 and nobody ever works it like a zipper. Michael! Happy Friday. No one ever you've got to get off and on. It's got to be like a zipper, like the teeth of a zipper coming together. One car on, one car off, one car on, one car off. Or however it works. My biggest driving pet peeve though is when somebody pulls onto the freeway and drives in the emergency zone as far as it will go so they can just hop in front of a bunch of cars. But I try not to be bothered by these things anymore because life's too short. Happy Friday. Hey George, how's it going? Happy Friday. We're happy to keep you up for a little while or hang out with you while you're up. We just took a left on Wilshire and in Koreatown. Although we're kind of getting to the edge of Koreatown.
And the guy that was showing us around, he's like, don't get excited, they already shut down. I'm like, oh.
Well, Nanette said that they're gonna start back.
It smells really good over here. I just tripped on a random flip-flop, and in my head, it felt like I stepped on a diaper. I'm not really sure what I'm smelling right now, but it smells so good. I don't think it's Starbucks or Jersey Mike's. It's not that place either. What's your shift like today, George? How long before you have to work again? I just read an article this morning about the Magic Castle, and so the Magic Castle is not owned by magicians, it's owned by a landlord, and their lease is up in 2028. And I don't know if it was like a sensational little piece of journalism, but they were like, the magicians might be kicked out. Which sounded a little dubious or made up, because I think the people that bought it are very into preservation and history. But who knows? Who knows what to believe anymore? Right up there with the Broadway sign. My other favorite. One of Lord. No jokes. That Gucci flip-flop almost knocked me out of my socks. It wasn't Gucci though, it was Nike. Nike. You know that Richard had an apartment at the Gaylord? It was... And then that's where the Brown Derby was. You can see like the little round thing over there. Up on the second floor. If I can get any closer. Another tree. Mother Nature, you really did it again. Anyway. Right, whoops. The beige dome. Not that interesting. We've walked up those stairs before. Oh my gosh, thank you, Nightbot. And please, if you're just watching and hanging out, feel free to give us a like, subscribe, and chat. No! If you ever want to step back in time, HMS Bounty, that restaurant, it's 1 degree of having a smoke. It's 1 degree away from having a smoking section. Like it's. I think Brave Bull had talked about the riots earlier on. It used to be a place where news people hung out. The HMS Bounty, and I remember hearing a story about somebody sitting here when they found out about that the LA riots were happening. George, oh my gosh, hey. Am I missing something? Does somebody need fireworks? Oskay, hey there, happy Friday. Or are we excited? I feel like I missed something. Mary, there we go. I wish I could get that to show up. Mary, you deserve fireworks. Hearts. Fireworks. More fireworks. More fireworks. And kitties. Boop. Thank you so much for your support. We really, 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 really appreciate that. And you for being here with us. Woohoo! That's one of LA's many high schools. I do really love all the mirrored buildings. They kind of... That's people playing sports, by the way. Sports makes you scream like that. Tahai! Happy, happy, happy Friday. I always feel like the mirrored buildings are reflecting like an old building. That's Grand Dubarry over there. Let's take a walk down this block and see if it's interesting. I feel like I've done this before. Mountain bike fan, happy Friday. Well, congratulations. Thank you so much, Mary, to those of you who got gifted a membership. We love that. I want to take a second right now to thank our current members. We'll add your new names to our little Chiron. This looks like it was part of a church or something. It definitely looks church-like. Yeah, that guy's having a moment. It's the Davis Garage. Built in 1927. This is also a parking garage? No. It's kind of scary looking somehow. Like Serpent in the Rainbow. Alright, it doesn't look very interesting down that street, so I'm not going that way. We're on Catalina. I was just thinking we'd get a couple rows of that kind of building. Looks like it's hiding a spooky secret, though. Whoops. Oh, I love a good window. A coffee bar pickup window. Sometimes it works. This building, though, reminds me of the Partridge Family's. Oh, that's all right. We'll be here on the Partridge Family bus. Very Mondrian-esque. And this one looks like it's a little worse for wear. Some puckering mirrors. Puckering mirrors. Okay, it makes sense now. That building around the corner has got to be part of this building. It's probably the school. Yep. So that building, let's go in this alley. I've never done this before. So that's the Davis garage. Let's hope nobody comes flying out of that. That's the building next to it, which is connected by that weird and crazy bridge. Still no one has come through here yet, which is just fine with me. Must be a school. I'll have to look. Beach bungalow, Malibu, that's what I would choose. Although, it would make this channel a lot harder if I just streamed Malibu every day. Although it's beautiful. Right, and insured by somebody else. I only want the beach bungalow if I don't have to pay the insurance, Malibu insurance. So Ty, I'm taking it you would pick the Malibu beach house. Although, you know, a downtown loft. We are at Chichester Chapel. A downtown loft sounds kind of amazing. I could just walk downstairs and start my live stream. This is just a Gothic beauty, the Chichester Cathedral. AKA Emmanuel Prez. It's huge. It feels like it's in another country, actually. I mean, so it extends all the way to this street, and also it was on Catalina Street. So who knows if it at one time took up this whole city block. The building to the right of it does look somewhat new. It is an impressive church. Right? Malibu Barbie. And then she deals with the ramifications of tanning for all those years. Wasn't there a Barbie that was light sensitive and would kind of darken like as if it was tanning. I'm sure that was a chemical that was great for us kids. Adams House. I'll check it out. The Sister Act Church is in Hollywood. That used to be a grocery store right there. I think it might have been the first Ralph's grocery store. What a beautiful building. Again, those were the days. No, but it would be the Malibu Barbie. The Barbie that tanned. And the new Barbie movie. The Malibu Barbie movie, which would be the sequel, it would be the Malibu Barbie, but she would be getting her moles checked. And I make light of that, but my grandmother had a little touch of that. I'm relatively cautious. It's a serious thing. Hey, Busy! I heard that Koreatown let us know earlier. I am really excited about that. I feel like they do give us a lot of free days, and then the tap machine on the bus never works, so it's always a free bus ride. I've been taking the bus a lot lately. I'm not a bus lover, though, I will have you know. Huh? Poor melanoma Barbie. I have a mole on the back of my leg that scares me. It's fine, I had it checked out a couple times. Also, I wear some sunscreen. I think encouraging people in Los Angeles to take the train is nearly impossible. Much like the rest of the country, we hear a lot of horror stories about how awful the train is, and I have to say, I take it a lot more than I ever have at any point in my life living anywhere. And I've only seen like one or two crazy things, which is, I get it, too much for some people. Yeah, it is no joke. I'm a little bit excited about the new stations because being able to take the metro places, you've heard us complaining about sitting on the 405 or the 110 or the 101 or the 134 or even just Western. Being able to take the metro some places is really pretty lovely. I've gone to Long Beach on the metro 2 times. Santa Monica, I went on the bus once a long time ago, and then also on the metro. That's really awesome. I mean, I live in the city. If I didn't have a car, I could just take the train. Let's check out what's happening over here. It looks like a flea market. I've got 16 seconds to cross. 13 seconds to cross. There used to be a giant Denny's over here and a gas station. Or maybe just a gas station. I remember after moving here, there was like a huge fight at that Denny's, like all the time. So we're at the Wilshire, Vermont train station. I thought this was like, oh, this is like a little swap meety kind of thing. Let me know if you see anything you like. We've got lots of bags and hats. I always need a new hat because I'm sweating through my old ones. When I lived in Boston, the worst thing about the public transportation, we're gonna go up Vermont, but I'm gonna kink in. I'm gonna walk in a couple blocks probably and back in and out. Vermont is burgeoning gentrification, so there's still a lot of vacant lots, and the old haunted Denny's, it's still there.
Welcome to LA.
Hey!
Hey.
Happy Friday.
You doing? You taking exciting?
Just walking around LA, right?
Hey, you have a safe trip. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
I live here. But that was really lovely. Anyway, this Denny's, I feel like it had fights all the time. I wonder why they haven't torn it down yet. It does potentially look like it could be a little landmarky for a Denny's. It's still Denny's. Joseph, I think I have a fanny pack on. A crossbody bag, if you will. I think that gives me tourist vibe. If you would have told me 10 years ago that I would be wearing a fanny pack in 10 years, I don't really wear it around my waist. I would have probably thought you was crazy. And since I'm using this really awesome light, thank you so much, much, Mountain Bike Mike. Mountain Bike Mike. I just need to say mountain bike because whenever I put it together, that's when I say Mike. I wonder how Mountain Bike Mike is doing. Mountain bike. I love the way it rhymes. Hey, kick rocks. Right? This gimbal looks like a toy compared to the other one. The other one gets me kicked out of malls. I'm starting to wiggle over. I see signs and buildings I want to see. You know, I used to have a friend with a name that was not uncommon, but a little uncommon. And no one ever said it right. It's a name you know. I'm not friends with this person anymore, so I don't want to mention their name, but it's a name you know, but like nobody ever could pronounce it right. This building? Probably really expensive apartments. That building? Staples. Anyway, it really hurt her feelings when people couldn't pronounce her simple name right. She never said anything, but I would, just sense it, and it feels disrespectful. Anyway, I'm very sorry I keep saying that. Don't get used to it. Call me out on it every time. Every time I say Wednesday when it's Thursday or Saturday when it's Friday, call me out on it. I love all the animal prints we're seeing today. I don't know if you saw that lady in leopard print. Me too. I've been thinking about Will. I haven't seen Will today. We saw him at the beginning yesterday. I know that he's resting up. I will shoot him a message out later on. So we're walking on a parallel street, obviously, to the street that we just walked on Vermont. We almost never walk down Vermont. Right. Guy looks like he's setting up a smoking rig out there for barbecue. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for the likes. We really do appreciate that. And if it's your first time here and you're feeling a little shy, that's okay. Please feel free to give us a like or a sub or chat and try to get us out to the algorithm. I feel like if you do animal prints right, they can be stylish forever. There was a lady before in like completely 4 or 5 different types of variants of leopard print, and it looked probably like in her 70s, and it looked stylish. Dumplings. I love ice cream. I could eat some dumplings right now, though. I wonder, oh my god, I'm gonna try the new Jack in the Box dumplings. $3 Monster Munchies. Oof. Am I feeling okay? Yeah. Right, I thought it would be a fun way to get the conversation rolling. We've got 3 of them set up. So the way they're set up, WYR, exclamation point WYR, they're like 5 in each exclamation point, WYR, WYR2, and WYR3. And only members can make them go off, I believe. But they're coming through the Nightbot, so a member might mean something different. It might be just a subscriber. I not only love chicken and dumplings, but I love dim sum and Chinese dumplings so much. There's a place that used to be only in Arcadia, maybe, called Din Tai Fung. So effing excellent. Now they're all over LA. I thought all the Sizzlers kind of disappeared. But nope, there's one right there. I haven't been to the Sizzler in years too. When I first moved to Los Angeles, there was a Sizzler on Highland, not far from where I lived, on Fountain. And I love to go somewhere really horrible and shitty for my birthday meal, because I don't want to get disappointed by the 4 seasons, which turns out to only be 2 seasons. to go to Kentucky Fried Chicken. I don't think I would go to Kentucky Fried Chicken now, but when I lived in Boston, it was so out of the way that it was kind of a rarity. I've gone to Sizzler a couple times. I always enjoy Sizzler. I could go straight to the soft serve machine. And then I also went to Hooters once, which kind of made me sick. And also personally, it's kind of weird. So using my new gimbal, I have to go to the post office today and get a box because I don't have anything to ship my old gimbal back for them to replace it. I thought I saved the box, but I can't seem to find it. The bummer about this gimbal is I cannot charge my phone from it. So we are at 35% charge for the phone. I do have a battery and a cord, but I suspect that will make it weigh it down. We can always try it. I'll wait till I get to 20%. You know, I've never met a Mary I didn't like. It's one of those names in your life. I'm sure you all have names that you run into, and every time you meet one of the people with that name, you almost always like them. Mary is one of those names for me. We have a buffet near our house. I forget what it's called. Joe and I went there. I really honestly, like, just because you can eat all that food doesn't mean you should. But like, I feel like the buffet is somewhere you go on like 420. If you know what I mean. But on just a regular day, I don't think I personally I would get my money's worth, except for out of the soft serve machine. Because I'm gonna, just for the fun of it, I'm gonna plug in and see what trouble that gets us into. Let me know if the camera goes, yeah. I know that I've gotten food poisoning in my life. I just can't remember where it was from at this one moment. Yeah, the cord drags it down just a little bit. Let me know if it looks like I'm focusing on my feet too much, or this sidewalk mattress. Uh-oh. The sky is really pretty perfectly beautiful today, I have to say. So we are in Hi-Fi, historic Filipino town. I've never heard it called Hi-Fi until very, very recently. Sorry, they were literally gonna cut me off. They have tinted windows. Slots. Let's see what the slots do. I feel like a lot of Sizzlers disappeared though. I don't know why I walked in so much. I just want to be in the shade. That lady closed the door. Oof. It smells like old building. That kind of like a building that's been well loved and used and lived in for years. Not a totally terrible smell. So this is the same bank originally that is on the corner of Hollywood and Highland. The same like brand or whatever you call it. It's really a lot of stonework went into that building. Whoa. Ooh. I'm getting a little shady moment here. So walking through Koreatown was kind of a last minute thing to me. I really do want to do a Filipino walk, a Filipino town walk. There's a lot of cool, interesting stuff. I just felt like the route was really sunny and it's still 81. And the 81 wouldn't be that bad if it wasn't like 69% humidity. And I could be exaggerating if you look it up. Like a 1920s bank or something, 30s maybe. Actually, it's probably before the Great Depression because that chain of banks kind of folded during the Depression, which is why that building is on Hollywood Boulevard is empty. Well, also it's got some structural issues. Oh, for sure. I had a couple things listed that I might possibly like without risking my food palate too much. Sometimes for the walk, as you know, I kind of plan them out and map them out. Other times it's just a vibe. Today turned into a little bit of a vibe. So the route for Filipino Town that I was going to take would have started in Silver Lake and taken a right on Alvarado and headed into Filipino Town that way. I wanted to see the old church and I want to see the huge mural. But I think I need to plan it for a cooler day. It's going to be really hot next week here in the 80s. Again, we'll definitely do next week a morning walk, an evening walk, and one afternoon walk as well. We will be out of town Friday and Saturday. We're going camping. We'll see how that works out. And then I might come back. I have a video that we're gonna put up while we're gone. A members video. Also one for this week. And then we'll post up as often as we can. The last time we were up there, like I could only hook up via satellite. But I'm sure somebody has Wi-Fi. Hey, LA Unknown. Ooh, that was my shoe. Delirious from the heat. Actually, it's just the humidity. I, for some reason, cannot bring myself to wear a tank top in public. But over this past summer, I've reconsidered that. This is one of those days where I really wish I had a tank top on. This t-shirt is like stuck to me. I know that I'm going to be the kind of old man that wears shorts unseasonably all the time, despite the fact that I'm always freezing. I'm okay with the shorts wearing. Peaky Sticks Billiard Lounge. That's new-ish. Actually, it looks like it's already closed. I really love this building right here. Whew. All right, we're gonna walk this way back to Western. It's lovely and shady. If Joe were here with me right now, I would go to Jollibee. Pancit noodle, adobo, Eldorado chicken, tomato stew, and Nicole. So, Ty, you don't recommend anything from Jollibee? I'm kidding. That would be like... Oh. I love statues. I want to do a Jollibee stream. And if you're not familiar with Jollibee, it's a Filipino fast food restaurant. What sells? Chicken. You're not supposed to turn across the double yellow line. Just saying. Look at what you're doing, holding traffic up for Jollibee Crispy Chicken Yum Joy. They used to have a giant bee out in the front. Just the chicken and spaghetti. There's something about spaghetti, paying for spaghetti. I feel like a lot of people grew up eating ramen when they didn't have any money for food. My food was spaghetti. Like, you would make spaghetti with red sauce, throw a couple peppers into it. Spaghetti to me is not something you pay for. So chicken, I'll go for chicken. Chicken is also something I usually don't like to eat out unless it's a chicken sandwich that has been deep fat fried, covered with crispy skin. I was gonna say cornflakes. Cornflakes are good. The only thing I ever ate there, because obviously, you know, I usually won't order chicken out or order spaghetti out, was the Juicy Yum Burger. And it was yummy. There was something a little different about it, but I kind of liked whatever was different about it. The burger actually had like a pocket inside of it that captured the juice. I think that was the trick. They take the burger patty and they cut it in between, not all the way. The fries were excellent though. But about 6, 7, 8 months ago, they were having a lot of commercials for their chicken popcorn bucket or whatever it was. The problem with the lady turning into Jollibee through double yellow lines is it holds up traffic also. So in addition to it being like slightly bad form and slightly against traffic and a violation, you just have to consider how you impact other people. And that's what I try to do when I'm driving. So now she's holding these people up. You don't know what's going on 4 cars behind you. You could have taken a right, and I do a lot of maneuvers so I don't have to do stuff like that. Never an unprotected left turn if I can help it. Joseph hates it. You can say you don't. But I know the way I drive drives you crazy, also drives other people crazy too. And I used to be able to say, well, I never got in an accident, and then I had 2 in 1 year. Not because of my driving. You know, the cord is actually working out pretty well. It's not weighing it down too much. So I'm super excited. I feel like a lot of people need their licenses taken away. I haven't had to do the eye test in a long time, so I know that's coming up, and nothing scares me more than that eye test. I wear glasses. I wear corrective lenses when I'm driving. But it's almost like my eyes get psyched out and I overthink what I'm looking at when I take that eye test. Even at the eye doctor. It's almost like, what did they want me to say? Driving is truly one of the I'm trying to say something positive here, but it's really just something that, especially growing up somewhere that was a little more rural than LA, it is one of the great pleasures when it's good. Once a year, although I haven't gone in a year because I currently don't have eye insurance. I don't think I have eye insurance right now. I actually don't. I really totally need to get my prescription upgraded. So maybe I actually haven't gone to the eye doctor in 2 years. I would say. I believe at the end of the year, though, I've heard that our insurance rates are going to go up by as much as 40%. Also, not really wanting to talk political shit, but insurance is, we're talking about it yesterday or the day before, it is just, insurance and rent. I used to have perfect vision also. I can see distance really well. Or I could see distance really well. That was the last thing to go. Now I'm wearing, I love calling them bifocals, but they're not. They're progressive lenses. Thank you so much. Those people are really sweet. They were waiting for me to cross even though they have a green light. I'm wearing progressive lenses that tint in the daylight. My whole entire life I wanted sunglasses, or glasses that tinted. I've only been wearing glasses probably for 15 years. And I love them. I love not having to cot 2 pair of glasses around with me. But I have noticed that whatever the layer is that's on the inside of these glasses has been etched from either whatever I use on my skin or just my sweat, and they're kind of a little blurry. So I definitely need replacement glasses. So, a couple things about health and longevity. Well, we could go on and on though, but like your ears. People who cannot hear well are more likely to end up with mental problems, meaning like dementia or something. People that also can't see well and don't get these things corrected deal with a host of other issues. Your teeth are so important. I think I grew up in a time when we definitely went to the dentist as a kid, but I don't think I went every 6 months. I think I went like once a year. I'm paying for it now. I'm really careful about bicycles and people on bicycles and people on motorcycles. I feel like that's the scariest way to go, to drive, is on like a bike or something that's not covered like that. I wonder if Tom still does photos in 1 hour. You didn't like sweets until you got older. I've never stopped liking sweets, not even for a second. I feel like it is kind of weird to see an adult eat like a Snickers bar in public. It just kind of shows like bad judgment, but I still do. The crazy shit with hearing, though, is they made hearing aids so expensive for so long, and with all these rules and regulations, I understand that we have to protect people because there's snake oil salesmen, scammers at every turn, right? So you can't just call anything a hearing aid, but it's so important to your brain health to be able to hear stuff. This is an old Pizza Hut. It's now Alaska. I think they redid the roof recently because it looked like more like an old Pizza Hut in the past. I love a good box of candy like that. But usually I'm picking up candy when so sometimes after the stream, if I haven't eaten anything, I'll go to 7-Eleven by the train station. I'll get like a small cold coffee and an almond Snickers bar. I just really love the almond one. I also love classic Snickers, but almond Snickers bar. They made a Snickers like energy bar for a while, so I feel like it's a step closer to an energy bar. It's got almonds in it. Definitely a Pizza Hut. So we are back in Koreatown now. I'm pretty sure we left Filipino town. So now you can use your Apple earbuds as a hearing aid, and I saw like the Apple rollout a couple weeks ago. What I'm most interested in is being able to have the translator built into the earbud. I think that sounds so Star Trek-y, but you would be able to literally like translate your conversation while you are having it. That feels pretty futuristic and amazing to me. But of course, I am on a virtual tricorder right now. That is a disaster waiting to happen. This iPhone 16 Pro Max is way more powerful than the tricorder ever was. 2-for-1 beverage deals. And oops, we're tilting down. The thing I love about C's is they will give you a free sample. I don't think I should walk over here, but it's got a plaque. This is the Aina C. Peterson Studio Court, Hansel and Gretel style, built in 1922. Pretty cool. Definitely Hansel and Gretel style. Oh, I see the witch. There used to be a bunch more of these cactus tacos. They really have great taquitos here, by the way. We're gonna get taquitos on tomorrow. I don't want to preload up on taquitos. I don't think they're the healthiest. Oh, that's really sweet. The one thing I don't like is people that take advantage of free samples. I think when we went to get coconut ice cream in Thai Town, there were people that were like asking for, they each probably got 3 or 4 samples, I could be exaggerating, and they were like, they ordered no ice cream. Maybe they just ate dinner or lunch there. It was also a cafe. I want to run. I just don't want to sweat. All right, Joe, grab a pencil. This has got to be one of the next places that we eat at. Up here on the left, not Noshi Sushi, although I'm sure Joe would love that. The lobster gas station. I could just pull right in there and say, fill her up. We could actually park here. It's Maine Lobster, which, you know, when we talk about lobster, I always talk about Maine Lobster. And look at the lobster roll. Oh no, I know. From the Bell Witch or the Blair Witch. So we're 2 blocks away from Western. I'm gonna try to shoot my shot. Very nice. Two hours and 2 minutes. I'm just trying to remember where that lobster place is, so I can go. All right. I'm going. That was totally a gas station. We've walked by it a couple times, and I keep saying that we're gonna to go there, but it's expensive, but totally worth it. It's something that is more like I definitely need to bring Joe with me if we go, because if I'm gonna have a fancy dinner, you know, I want to share the love. Yeah, we can see the SpaceX like in the sky. I think the first couple times I saw it was kind of scary to see. I had no idea what it was. You know, I thought it was a UFO, UAP, whatever we're calling them nowadays. Joseph and I did take a picture of it, we saw something the other night in the sky, and the contrails were like orange. It was an optical illusion, it was just a plane taking off, but you know how planes go up and down, they just don't fly like up and straight across? Like it was still on the upward trajectory, and it must have been coming from like Burbank Airport. And just the light on the chemtrails looks like it was like shooting out fire, and then it completely disappeared. It was 100% weird. Alright, that's us. Back is sweating up a storm. Another bonus, positive thing, super grateful, is I don't have to carry a backpack when I use this gimbal because it doesn't need to go in a case. Dream come true. So you guys were heading up Western, back the way we came. Only on the sunny side of the street right now. Let me take a second and thank you guys so much. Any new members, we'll add them to the stream tomorrow. We'll be going to Union Station and checking out the train show. We will also be going to Olvera Street and getting taquitos. And then wandering around downtown a little bit because it's Saturday. And why not? You're right. The original C's is right back there. We walk by it all the time. So thank you to my members. I really appreciate your support. Taking these walks with us. I almost said taking this trip with us. Hopefully we'll get our crap together enough to like get out of the city on some little like Southern California road trips. Will, hello. Glad to see you here. How are you doing? These people have the right idea. Oh, big hug to you as well. We're happy to see you. Happy you are hanging in there. Really. We'll send you all of our good California energy. I'm gonna do something I hate doing right now, which is crossing this crosswalk with the flashing yellow light. I need to get to the shady side of the street. Bad. No one will ever stop. It'll just make me angry, so I'm gonna wait for it to clear out a little bit and then I'll hit it. Otherwise, alright, check this out. So, flashing yellow light, I'm in the crosswalk, literally have to stop that person from going through it. And then these people are just sliding. I'm sorry, I'm such a bitch. I hate it. I hate that crosswalk. That brings out the road rage in me, right there. I remember when I first lived here, they would have like bunnies, people dressed as bunnies crossing the street. And if you didn't let them cross, like in the crosswalk, there would be a cop around the corner there to arrest you. So, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I am going to take off, grab the bus back up a couple blocks. I am just literally dying, not dying from the heat, but I'm roasting alive, so sticky. Well, what I do is, Ty, is you make eye contact with the person driving the car. I think Joe's mother told him that, and Joe mentions that to me all the time. It kind of works. It kind of works. Anyway, have a really awesome day and evening, Friday evening. We'll be seeing you live streaming tomorrow. I already put up the link, so we'll be downtown Union Station. We'll also be live streaming on Sunday. I'm kind of torn between a couple things to do on Sunday. Always worried about the strength of my stream, so we'll come off that. Thank you for walking with us today. Thank you for signing in. I don't know what I'm saying. Again, I'm really hot. I'm gonna get a water behind me. Thank you guys for subscribing and chatting and liking and thumbs upping. And if anybody wants to hype, that'd be great. I don't know what it means, but I'm looking forward to getting hyped one day. We will see you tomorrow. Mary, thank you so much. Have a really awesome evening or afternoon, late afternoon. Cheers! Mary, thank you again. So I will leave you with a sticker. I hope you guys have a lovely, fantastic Friday night. George! So good night and sweet streams. Kidding, I don't know why I hit that, but thank you for watching. Does not look professional. Kidding. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you really soon. Cheers!